Okay, so it's been a minute since you guys have seen me, probably since October. I have been filming, but the video is clearly going to take a lot longer than I thought it was going to, so that's currently on hold. I'm technically a little over halfway done with it, but it's gonna take a minute because I can't just work on it all at once. It is technically kind of a challenge thing for this channel, and it involves writing and a specific time frame. So that's your little hint. But I have been doing a lot of other things, and then I realized, hey, I could have been making other videos that involve what I've been doing as well, and it's probably going to be a little handy for, you know, change your life in 6 months thing. Basically, I think at the beginning of the challenge, I vaguely mentioned that eventually I do in fact want to, you know, have an Artist Alley booth and all this type of stuff because, you know, besides being a comic artist and a writer, I am also a huge fucking nerd, and like that's been one of my dreams since like I was an actual child, teenager kind of thing, so I have been working on it. Currently, I have some things that I had already made, I think it was 2 years ago now, and then some more things that I haven't gotten printed yet, or manufactured yet, because I made keychains originally when I was going to try and get a booth at Anime Los Angeles with a friend, and then all the tables automatically got taken, which is weird. I'm not salty because that was also a lot of money and I was gonna be the one who paid it all up front. So probably for the best, honestly. But I do still have a bunch of keychains from that, and you know, I would like to, you know, sell those eventually, since I have, you know, spent money on those, made that investment. So in the future I would like to sell those. But currently what I've been doing is, one, rebranding my other channel, which is that Otaku Witch, which is all my cosplay, creativity, and chaos kind of bullshit, you know? Or like, I think I changed the tagline to cosplay creative community, I think it was. Something like that. Cosplay crafts and community, something like that. I don't remember exactly. But since this page is more for like my comics and my art specifically, I thought for an anime convention that Otaku Witch might be a little better, you know? And then later on, if I'm still tabling and stuff at conventions, I can like switch into my name if I'm like selling my comics there or like my books there. And up here, honestly, there are a lot of like, I've been to like 2 cons, and one was technically not exactly a con. It was more of like a charity thing with an artist alley, basically, which is honestly really fun. I'm excited for the 2 bigger cons that are up here where I am. So that should be fun. And so far from what I've been looking at with, you know, the price for tables up here compared to California, where I was originally, fucking crazy. I could have been tabling up here if freaking I lived here before. You know. But what I was saying, I've been doing a lot. I've been reviewing some of the little charms that I've already done, the little chibis I've drawn, but I am rebranding my channel a little bit. So I have just a cohesive branding that can also go and turn into like a little business as well, which will be fun. And I have been drawing a lot of chibis because honestly, I used to draw them a lot when I was a teenager, but now I'm starting to get back into it. I originally restarted getting into it when I drew a bunch of arcane chibis 2 years ago, and yeah, it's been a time. And honestly, I'm enjoying it. And that's a good thing about art. You can just enjoy it. But yeah. So I've had basically a list of different things that I kind of want to see at Artist Alley, and then I also asked a bunch of people from like the Arcane group and like the cosplay group that I met back at Anime Impulse, and I miss them all dearly. They keep doing stuff together and I'm just like, I was one of you once. But yeah. I asked a few of them of what, or actually I asked all of them what they like to see at Artist Alley specifically, and a lot of them said they don't like little trinkets that like are just kind of junk, you know? They like things that are like functional, like tote bags, hats, and stuff like that. And then one of them suggested bucket hats, and I was like, I could make bucket hats. So I'm going to probably make some Arcane themed bucket hats at some point. I should design that. But yeah, none of them suggested any fandoms besides Arcane. And like, honestly, I'm still in the Arcane trenches, so I'm going to be drawing more Arcane stuff. But I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna have fun and do characters that are my favorite as well. So I did one for Kurt Wagner. I love him. Just, he is my favorite. And by one, I mean I did design 3 different charms or chibis for him. So that's cute. Then I also did Jason Todd. I did a few different kind of ones. 2 are chibis, 1 is just his helmet, and then another one is just a little tombstone that says Jason Todd, or here lies Jason Todd, and then not scratched in. I haven't like digitally done that. I did it traditionally, so I need to finish that. And then I also traditionally drew some Bigby from Wolf Among Us because I am still in the trenches of the Wolf Among Us fandom. It was one of the first games I played and like was given, so like I miss it. I should not have been playing it when I was a kid. I also did recently purchase it, and I was replaying it. I haven't finished replaying it. I didn't finish the last episode. I don't know why. I need to. But yeah, I did some of those, and I think I'm going to do some that are just like meme related as well. And one thing that I am nervous about but I want to do is Drara merch, because like not a lot of people in California knew what Drara was for some reason, and like every time I made any friends I'm like, do you know what Drara is? And they're like, no, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, it is an anime with a lot of problematic stuff, but for some reason it scratches an itch in my brain and I am obsessed with it, like to an unhealthy level. But I'm thinking about making at least 3 Drara designs, which is Shuzio, Celti, and Izaya. Izaya is popular. Do I personally like Izaya? He's not my favorite. My favorites are Shuzio and also Celti. If you didn't know, my dog's name is Celti. So obviously I feel like I should pay homage, even though it's very problematic. But at the same time, I really want some Drara merch. I have kind of a lot of Drara merch now because I went on Buyee a long time ago and just got a lot of it, if I'm honest. My camera's overheating. I will be back. Okay, so what I was saying is that I want to make Drara merch because I love Drara, even though it's kind of problematic, but then again, most anime has at least one thing problematic, you know? But I don't know how many people would actually, you know, want Drara merch, you know? Had to turn off some ambiance music. Yeah, I don't know how many people would want Drara merch. I know I do. But at the same time, I'm already probably going to be taking a risk with some of the Arcane merch that I want to make, because I already drew 3 different designs for Sky from Arcane because I love her to bits, even though she has like 5 minutes of content. But I love a girl who haunts the narrative. I love her so much, and honestly, 1, she deserved better, and 2, I would have given her a bigger role in the series to make her really haunt the narrative a lot. I also would have made the series longer so she had a little bit more time to also just really haunt the narrative, you know? But besides that, I'm worried that I will just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna do a bunch of fandoms that I enjoy. And then lo and behold, no one else enjoys them. Like, I know specifically there are quite a few fandoms that I want to like make some merch for that people will like. People like Arcane. Sky's not that popular. But at the same time, I feel like I would be like one of the few people to actually make merch for her, so maybe I can attract the Sky fans. And also, weirdly, I have seen with some of the people I've been talking to up here that Durara is actually kind of more popular here. They all at least know what it is, or have seen it, or have watched it and enjoyed it. Some of them even have DVDs of Durara, and I'm like, I'm gonna steal that from you. But I am worried that if I just make so many that are kind of self-indulgent, that I will not make sales. And I don't know if that's just self-sabotaging, if that's me being realistic, or me doubting like my own abilities. I don't know. However, a lot of people that I asked about what they like to see at Artist Alley also said memes. So drawing memes might be the way to go as well with the most stock I make. I'm already choosing some memes. I'm a bit scared still, because like, these are memes I like and I enjoy. But do other people enjoy them as much as me? I don't know. So honestly, altogether, nervous as fuck about getting too invested in this, but also accidentally being too self-indulgent. But then at the same time, if I'm not having fun with my art, people aren't gonna buy because they can tell that I'm just trying to go with trends and stuff. Like, if I really wanted to, I could go with Knights of Guinevere. That pilot just came out on YouTube. I could do that. I can do Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel stuff. Listen, I enjoy Has Been Hotel and also Hell of a Boss. I don't like, okay, there's a lot of issues with that and the fandom and stuff like that, okay? But it's also saturated, you know? So I'm just struggling at the end of the day with basically everything and what I want to do, because if I go too self-indulgent, no one will buy it because it's too niche. But then, if I go too general with what's popular, even if I'm not the biggest fan of it, people will see that I half-assed it, and also, why would they go to me when they could go to any of the other booths that probably have it, like similar products for one, and their art is either better or they're more passionate about it. So I'm struggling. My joints keep cracking. I burnt myself earlier too, so I am having a time, if I am honest. I am scared if I niche down too much, no one will give a shit because they don't know what the fuck I am selling. But if I go too general, they'll just go to someone whose art is better. Because I'm not the best artist known to man. I don't think there is like a best artist, you know? But there are artists that are better than me. There are also artists worse than me. But I don't know if it's self-doubt, self-deprecation, or me just being realistic. Because, like, I am very new to this. I might have done a business, like a mock business back in high school, which is part of my classes, but like, honestly, my teacher didn't know what the fuck she was doing. Kinda like that class, however, she didn't really know what she was doing. I'm struggling a bit, and by a bit I mean a lot, with basically everything. But I will say, overall, with the challenge of changing my life in 6 months, technically we are at the 6 months mark, and I have changed my life quite a bit. Moved to a different country, that is fucking huge. My health is better than it's ever been. My art, I think it's improved a lot, and also I finished an entire first volume of my comic Freefall. I also finished a book at the beginning of this thing, or of this challenge. So like, I should feel accomplished. But at the same time, there's so much I still want to do and want to improve, and I know I have gone back to some unhealthy habits. Currently, my sleep schedule is fucked up. Like the entire month of October, I did really good. I was perfect with my sleep schedule. I was waking up at 4 a.m. I got sick one day, screwed the whole thing up. November fucked me up. I got sick. So I am constantly struggling with what I've already accomplished, which is honestly a lot, and then what I still want to accomplish, and then looking at the time frame that I've been doing this for, and it's honestly a big struggle for me, because I want to be proud of myself. I do, because I know at the end of the day I have done a lot, and like being in Canada and talking to other creatives that have been here this whole time made me realize how hard it is to be in America with just the grind culture, the hustle culture, how much you're forced to just go, go, go. It's fucking insane. And like, when I first got here, I was like kind of baffled by just how much that I was like, oh, people are actually taking breaks? That's crazy. And like a lot of the comic artists that I have, like, I would like to think we're friends, even though like we're not that close, okay? I would like to think we're friendly acquaintances. But they all have kind of, you know, opened my eyes that, hey, I am doing a lot more than I thought I was. Like, some of them even have, like, help with, like, some of the other people. Like, they're helping each other. And I'm over here still just like, nope, I gotta do everything myself and just grind, grind, grind until I burn myself out and actually get sick. Because I am chronically ill. I am disabled. I should not be forcing myself to basically work myself into an early grave. That's what my dad did. I don't want to die at 52, 53, I don't know when the fuck he died, like what age he was. He was somewhere in his 50s when he died. I don't remember, he lied about his age. Realizing how different America's kind of climate is when it comes to trying to follow your dreams versus a different country is fucking crazy. And like, I'm a dual citizen, okay? My dad, he was from Canada. So it's so weird that the person in my life that I knew worked so hard was my dad, even though he's from Canada. I don't know if it was different when he was growing up versus now, or what, or if he was just trying to keep up with America. But I have kind of been struggling with this thing where I'm like, I love my dad, okay? Loved him, still do. But at the same time, he worked himself to death. He was literally at a job site when he died. I don't want to keep that whole family tradition, you know, of not taking care of yourself working yourself into the ground, doing stuff that honestly you're not even that passionate about. Because my dad, he was working technically at my mom's business, but it was kind of their business together, but it was a struggle for them the entire time, and I know it wasn't what they actually wanted to do. They became passionate about it sometimes, but at the same time, it was still just something to put food on the table. My mom, she was the artistic one. She loved painting and drawing, and to this day, she has not picked up a pencil in years. I can't remember the last time I saw her pick up a pencil to even draw, or a pen. She used to really like to draw with felt tip pens. She hasn't done that in years. I think the last time I can recall, I was a kid. I was in footy pajamas, and I saw her drawing with her special markers that no one could touch but her. I have a very complex relationship with my mother. Not going to go into that, but I know she would have been a lot happier, and even now, she would be a lot happier if she was able to follow her dreams. She should have been a model who also paints and draws. She should have been an actress. She should have been all these things, but she wasn't, because she had a bunch of kids, and then she had to feed them kids, and she had to keep up with America, and she could not go out of her way to try and fulfill her own desires and dreams. I don't want to end up like my parents. And I say that with as much respect and kindness as I possibly can, because they worked their asses off. Especially my dad. My dad literally worked himself to death. And I know this is probably kind of triggering shit for some people, but it's kind of crazy when you're thinking about it, and I want to be open and honest with this, because there's probably someone out there who also had something similar and is kind of trying to balance the kind of guilt you have for feeling like you're behind, but then at the same time, my dad was trying to work so that I wouldn't have to worry about food and stuff. And growing up, we had to worry about food, we had to worry about paying the bills, we had to worry about all this stuff. And I am at a place where I currently don't have to worry about that. Currently, I'm not working. I am only working on my passion stuff. So I really need to stop letting myself feel so guilty about not getting as far as I think I should when looking around in the new country that I am in, which also, I moved to a different country. That's fucking crazy. Most of the money that was spent to get me, my sister, and her husband up here, that was my money. I saved so much money to get us up here. That's fucking crazy. I just barely turned 24. And it's wild to me to think about what I was able to accomplish at 24 when I'm not thinking about it from it being me. If that makes any sense. If I saw anyone else doing what I did, what me, my sister, and her husband did, I would be like, holy shit, you guys are insane, you know? But because it's me, I think it's fucking just whatever. It's something I should do, which is insane. If anyone else did half of what I've been doing, I would have said, wow, you did amazing. But because it's me, no. Because it's me, no credit given. And I need to stop doing that, because that's not gonna help me. Because legitimately, that's also whenever I get sick and I have a flare up with pain specifically, I had a migraine for the first time in a few months, up here like I think 2 days ago, and the only thing I could think about as I laid in agony, because we have no headache meds that work for me right now currently, because like I have really high tolerance for medication and stuff, but the only thing I could think of when I was in pain was, oh, I should be doing something productive, and I kept trying and trying to, and I couldn't. So I was like, you know what? Instead of staring at my screens and making my headache worse, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna lay down for a little bit. I'm going to get up and sew a little bit. And while I was sewing, the constant that also worsened my headache. So I'm just constantly doing things that worsen my own health for the sake of doing something, being productive, and I need to stop doing that. And I feel like a lot of people need to stop doing that, even if you're not disabled or chronically ill. Trying to push through your own body giving you signals is not healthy, and I need to stop doing it. And that was kind of the whole thing that I have kind of realized, that like if anyone else did half the shit that I have done in just the 6 month span, I would be like, wow, you did a lot. But because it's me, I'm like, nah, that's not a lot. Fuck you. So like, you're doing more than you think you are doing. I'm doing more than I think I am doing. Honestly, now that I'm like looking at all the months that I've done like for the challenge and shit, and like looking at the freaking to-do lists that I've actually done, it's fucking crazy. And honestly, you right now are probably doing more than you think. Start making to-do lists, and every time you finish it, put it into like, you know, a different section that's like done. Check it off. Put like and make it a baggie of just sticky notes, and then every time you finish, you put one in there, and then look at how many sticky notes you have in the bag. Currently I'm using Notion, and I can drag it because of the boards, you know? Yeah, looking back on all the shit I've done, even just this month, I'm like, I started doing a lot of shit. I started knitting again. I haven't knit since I was freaking like 13, 14 maybe. No, I think it was younger than that, maybe like 11. I started knitting again. Like, I have almost a scarf. Like, this is gonna be kind of a long scarf. Like, what the fuck? What is wrong with me for not seeing how much I'm doing? Mental illness. And also societal pressures about always working. So yeah, be easier on yourself. Ta-da. I guess that's the video. A little update of everything that I've been doing and I haven't shown you guys. But I will show you guys soon.